Ke le dumedisha babogedi ko gae ke la amogela ho lenaneo la lena la mmamoratwa Expressions ke na host ya lena Jacqueline Maphala.
Simbingela sinamukele mina ngumxolisi wakwamasango. Happy Human Rights Day Mzansi Africa. We're bringing you the special edition of Uhlelo where we're going to be reflecting on conversations nolosha around this very important day, Jackie. What do you have to say, Lapikaya? We're going to be having conversations where we're going to be reflecting as the youth of the country, but we also would like to know, should we be celebrating a Human Rights Day namhlanje si South Africa? Let's take you to the first insert.
Lwazi surprised Mdluli, a 23-year-old, a third-year law student, and co-founder of Baagi SA Youth for Human Rights, who studied law so that he could be able to fight for human rights of others, was brutally murdered on the 19th of December 2021. His human right was violated when he was stabbed to death by a 17-year-old for his clothes. Lwazi's passion was to encourage young people, especially those who joined gangsterism, to becoming better people by going back to school, and his vision was to use both organizations he co-founded as a stepping stone to change their mindset of criminality to community leaders.
Guys, a very warm welcome to Expressions. Thank you so very much for sitting and talking to us, and we know that this is a very difficult time for you. But for those people who maybe don't know, how exactly are you related to Lwazi? How do you know him?
Well, Lwazi is my cousin, more like a brother, I loved him a lot. Then suddenly people take him away from me.
Can you tell us exactly what happened? What actually happened to him?
When Lwazi was going to a bash, well, and then haya go bashing, then suddenly
If you could describe the kind of person he was, how would you describe Lwazi to the viewers?
Well, Lwazi nale motho sharp, le motho kind, o khona go bua le batho, and anagata law. Yeah. Law ena le ntho ya ntle.
With the tragic event that has happened to Lwazi, do you feel gore Human Rights Day is a day that you celebrate, that your family celebrates?
Well, yeah, because of I have a right to sorry some Lwazi, and he has to rot in jail. Yeah.
We know Lwazi was someone who fought for other people's human rights. He was a lawyer, and he was always the voice that was standing up for other people. If he were to be here, what do you think he would say to the viewers and young people on this Human Rights Day?
We all have a right. We all have to be equal. We are born equal. Yeah. And let's not fight, because fight leads to crime, murder, and all these things. I loved Lwazi. He was my brother.
The next stop takes us to Baagi Africa, a non-governmental organization lapho sobe sikhulumisana nabo khona ngokubaleka kamalungelo. Njoba sazi ke ukuthi with rights also comes responsibilities. Let's hear what they have to say.
Gloria, a very warm welcome to Expressions. Thank you so very much for joining us. I think before we get into this very important conversation that we're having today, tell us a little bit about your organization. What is it that motivated you to start this organization?
Okay, the organization was founded after we realized that policies and laws in South Africa, there are a lot of policies and laws which are not actually implemented. That's when Baagi South Africa was founded, and we are advocating for laws, programs, and the implementation of those policies as well.
With crime, gangsterism, murder being so high, should we be celebrating Human Rights Day?
According to the International Human Rights, there's Chapter 3, is the right to life. The murder crimes in South Africa is at 2.7%, which has increased. And to also find out that from July 2021 to September 2021, there was about 6,162 people who were murdered. And to find out that most of these murders are committed by young people. When we went back to the Constitution of South Africa, we find out that the Child Justice Act, it says that when a child is of the age from 17 years younger, they cannot be detained in prison. Our government is actually allowing young people to not be detained for crimes like murder, crimes like robberies, crimes like assault that they commit in the communities. Then is our government promoting murders. 3 years ago, there was a case of Uyinene, the lady who was raped and killed in a post office, whereby South Africans went out to, especially women, going out to say to our president, we want you to bring back the capital punishment, which is death penalty, because obviously, if you commit murder, it equals death penalty. So when they were calling out to that, our president actually responded to them to saying that the government cannot terminate life. So what is that statement saying to us as women, especially as young people in the country, when our own president is saying that the government cannot terminate life? I believe we are the government. They are there because we voted for them so that they can supervise. But now if we go to them and say this is what we want to be brought back, and we see it actually as a policy which actually will protect us, like in countries like China, countries like Nigeria, they still practice death penalty. And you don't hear of murders being committed just like that. You can just imagine, just from yesterday, how many people were murdered.
And with the crime rate being so high in South Africa, should we be celebrating human rights? Are there human rights that we should be celebrating in this country?
Yes, there are a lot of human rights we can be celebrating, especially in South Africa, because in terms of housing, shelter, social services, those we see them being provided to the people, even though it's not most of them because of the corruption that is happening. But we need to keep on celebrating so that it must be realized even by those we voted in power that human rights are there. And organizations like ours, we are there to make sure that human rights is realized no matter the conditions. Like now, we are fighting for death penalty to be brought back, making people to sign petitions for that death penalty to be brought back, because we want to celebrate human rights when we say the right to life, because the right to life has been enshrined in our constitution, but it is not so.
Gloria, according to you, what is the way forward? What is the solution? How can young people be part of the solution?
The energy that you put in committing crime is the same energy you can put in joining local organizations. Go to local organizations like WAWA, where you find out they are dealing with children and women who are being abused. Use that energy to go and change your community. And that is the mandate also we've been rolling with as an organization. And I will also advise young people out there to say, the crime you commit now at a young age, it will catch up with you at an elder age, because one day when you are of age, you'll want to get married, you'll want to start a business, you'll also want to apply for employment. Who wants to work with a criminal?
Do you feel that young people in South Africa are taking their human rights seriously?
It's surprising when we're visiting schools that some of them, they are not aware. And to the fact that even the educators in the school, they are not even aware about these rights. So that is actually becomes a problem to say, if schools, they don't educate, like according to the life orientation subject, these are supposed, the human rights are supposed to be part of the syllabus in the schools. Because when young people know about their rights, it won't be, and also understanding the responsibility they have when it comes to somebody else's rights. Even issues of bullying in schools. Even young people committing suicide because they are being bullied. It will be something that will be, something of the past that we never hear about. But because young people, they don't know about their rights, that's where the problem is.
So those were extremely powerful, impactful, and significant conversations I was having around human rights. And of course, as expressions, our heart goes out to Okagiso and his family in terms of the loss that they've experienced with Ulwazi. We continue with this very important conversation. Should we be celebrating human rights in South Africa? Decide for yourself. You're watching Expressions. We'll be back right after this.
Hi Expression, I'm Paul. I am your street junior for today, and today's topic will be talking about human rights. And I'm not alone, I came with friends that are gonna share their own opinion about it. Hi guys, welcome to Expression. Great. Can I please ask, what's your take on human rights?
Human rights is a moral or legal entitlement to freedom, just like a basic right, a right to life.
The human right is a right which is believed to belong to everyone, and everyone has a right to live, and everyone has a right to life.
Have you ever been in a situation whereby you feel like your right has been abused?
To me, in my opinion, yes, I have been in a situation where I have felt like my right is not being respected, such as sometimes, if I'm at school, like I don't have the opportunity to express myself fully. Even when I am on maybe walking in the street, I don't feel safe enough to know that if I walk here, I might get stabbed or something might happen to me.
I've been in a situation whereby I was getting mugged and literally people just watched and people were just watching and they were looking at me like they were literally just a distance from me, and for me it was like, why aren't you helping me? And I was busy wrestling with this guy, and then eventually I managed to just overpower him somehow, right? And then after, people are like to me, good job. And I was like, what do you mean good job? You guys could have helped me, I'm a girl child and everything. And after that, I had to take initiative to say, if I see anything happening, I will try by all means to step in. Or even if it means I'm going to get hurt, I think that's the one thing we need to have as Ubuntu, to say that's one responsibility to the right of life.
We have a country in a state of devastation, whereby these kids and students are given so much rights that teachers do not have control over them. We are dealing with a society that's very angry because there's high unemployment rate. We're dealing with more issues here, that even the same youths that are doing these violent crimes, they want a job, and hence we find a lot of these violent crimes happening in schools, happening at homes, happening anywhere around, because there's no jobs. Each and every entrepreneur out there, young, small, big, micro, whatever that you are, try as much as to reach out to the community, give one particular person a job, so that they can drive themselves from one day to the next day, so that they can have hope, they can have a vision of the future tomorrow.
We as business people, if we can try so much and engage those young people so that we can give them opportunities that they can get the job, so that they will know that no, we have to live for each other and take care for each other and love each other like brothers and sisters.
I've seen people even in Uppington as well, like kids, they are still young, they're like in grade 7, grade 8, they're very young, they have a whole future ahead of them. And what they do is like they just kill each other. But why would they just kill each other if the government can just like say, this sentence that you're getting is not just, don't take it lightly because of criminality in other countries as well. Like when you do a crime, it is something that you get a death sentence for. But in South Africa, it doesn't exist. That's why the crime just keep on increasing every time, day by day. Because people, even if they're kids maybe killing somebody, they be like, I don't care. I'm going to see you guys soon if I come out. If they are proud of the crime they did. So how do you make the change? Is by starting from the sentence, what you're giving to the person. Let the death sentence come in again into South Africa. That's how you start making a change. Let the luxury life they have in prison start stopping. So that's what I feel as well, that also needs to be changed in South Africa.
So since we're wrapping up, so do you guys think that we should celebrate this day?
I think it should be celebrated, Reason being is that it's just a commemoration of the long struggle that we've been having as Africans. it only starts with one particular person. It only starts with one household. It only starts with somebody in government, you know, looking at the policies of going back to trying to emphasize family values in homes, you know, then we can try by all means. My request to everybody out there, be there for somebody else, because it's all about love. It's all about seeing that brother struggling out there, you know, and you saying, oh, what can I do to help?
There's always something to celebrate. There's always something to be grateful for. We should just strive to make this place a better place, removing a sense of entitlement from the youth, feeling like you deserve a certain thing. I feel like that's where it comes from, feeling like, no, I have to have it. Why don't I get it? So that's when a person feels like they have to do something to someone else. Just removing that sense of entitlement and trying to build a better society, I think there's definitely reason to celebrate.
I feel like there's no need for us to celebrate this day for us, because what is the reason of celebrating the right of freedom when you don't have that?
If we keep on celebrating the human rights, that's where we will teach these young people on how to behave and on how to do things and on how to take care for each other, because of they will see us from business people or every year celebrating this day human rights, and then they swear they will learn some of the things that this one is not appropriated to be done, and then this one it has to be done.
There you have it. So we need to celebrate this day, and please do take the advice serious, because as a community, we need to empower young people. We need to educate our little ones who are growing up about the human rights and all that they need to know, because you know the knowledge has to be passed down to generation to generation. So please make sure that you take care of your loved ones and educate them about everything.
Hello, Expressions. Thank you for giving me this platform on such an important day in South Africa. We recognize that one of the major issues faced by students on campus is access to hygiene products. Our mission, together with the SRC and the Res Council, is ending period poverty. We want every student on campus to have access to pads and tampons in a dignified manner. Our real aim and our real mission is to act in accordance with the Jewish value of Tikkun Olam, healing the world. We want to make sure that access to pads and tampons is a basic right which everyone has. We don't want any woman in university, any woman in South Africa to not go to school, to not go to work, and to not go to university because of their period.
Young people, there are lots of dangers out there, people who want to take advantage of you. So you have to be aware, you have to be alert. There are people who want to violate your human rights. So make sure that you are protected and you actually understand what it means to have human rights as a young person. We continue this very important conversation after the break. You're watching Expressions.
The LGBTI people in South Africa enjoy the same rights as everyone else. South Africa has a complex and diverse history regarding the human rights of the LGBTI people. Some have complained that they still face challenges within their communities. Khulile Dlamini, who is a chairperson for the LGBTI community in the West Rand, shares her story with Expressions.
My name is Khulile Dlamini. I identify as a transgender, and I also am part of an organization that deals with women and LGBTI. It was initially brought up as a means for art, but we also do advocacy for LGBT women and the fight and struggle towards that. So yeah. Okay, so basically transgender means that I don't necessarily agree with the person that I was born as. So I was born as female, but I identify mostly as male. So that's what it means. And if you're a lesbian, you're just a person who is attracted to other women. So I'm not a cisgender. Cisgender would be that I do agree that I am a woman, but also I am a lesbian who's attracted to other women. So that's me. Being transgender means that I identify as male instead of female.
Talk to us about the challenges that you experience on the daily.
A lot of discrimination. You deal with a lot of stigma. Society doesn't understand, and I feel that in most cases it is up to us to actually educate society on what is or what is the meaning of LGBT, or where I stand as a person or as a human being. But there is quite a lot. There's a lot of stigma, there's a lot of discrimination, therefore it comes with a lot of bullying as well.
And as we commemorate Human Rights Day, what do you understand about what human rights mean for you in a country that clearly just cannot keep you safe and protect you?
For me, human rights means I'm free to be who I am. I am free to be the person that I am. But like you say, in a country that is, I think, in turmoil, there's a lot as to what we understand human rights to be as human beings. You know, some people would feel that it is not my right to be here, or it is not my right to be the person that I am, or whoever I choose to become. So my understanding of human rights would be that I am me. Take me as I am, accept me as I am. First and foremost, I am human before anything else. So respect the right that I am just like you. I bleed as you do. I hurt as you do. So that's my understanding of what human right is for me.
Do you feel that South Africans take, human rights, your human rights, seriously enough?
They don't. On that part, I'm not even going to beat around the bush. They don't. It's not there for them. They are not there yet as a people where we can say South Africa does take LGBT human rights seriously. We're not there yet.
What can everyday South Africans do to make a positive impact in the space of human rights?
Educate yourself, I always say that I believe in people wanting to know. I believe in people asking. It doesn't harm you to come up to me and say, I'd like to get to know who you are. I'd like to get to know the person that you are, how you live, what you go through, what are your everyday experiences. In that sense, it's teach one, each one, The more you learn, you can also go and educate other people, because now you've gotten to know who Khulile Dlamini is and what Khulile Dlamini is all about. So yeah, teach one, each one.
Somgco, we've come to the end of today's episode, and my goodness, what a jam-packed show it was. But we made sure that we had important conversation and represented important voices in this particular issue that we are discussing around human rights. And I think for young people, it's so important for you to understand that you don't have to belong to an organization to be an activist. As a young person, in the space that you occupy, in the space that you're in, you can actually make a positive impact in terms of making sure that human rights are not violated, but most importantly, they are protected, right, Mko?
Yeah, and you uphold those human rights. And as we continue to emphasize, namhlanje, with rights comes our responsibilities as well, Muntomosha. We thank you so much for your participation now in Nkundleni Zethu Zokuxhumana Le Bubuya Expressions, the special Human Rights Day edition of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, nisale kahle.
Bye. Enjoy the rest of what is left of your Human Rights Day. Bye.